What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Saturday. It is April 12th edition. We've got a full slate. We've actually got 15 games. We've got, depending on the weather, I should say, but we've got different slates we're going to cover. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. We're glad to have you. If you're back, you know exactly what the deal is. So the video's a little bit longer. It's a Saturday edition. Doesn't matter if it's Saturday. Doesn't matter if it's Monday. It's everything. We break down every single game. We look at all of the pitchers, all of the batters, everything that we possibly can. And we hopefully will help you bring home the bacon. If you are new to the channel, we do try to have giveaways every single day. 2 giveaways every single video. Here's how to win. The first way, like the video, be a subscriber to the channel, this YouTube channel, and leave a comment. If this video right here gets at least 50 likes and you've left a comment, you will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. That is a week of all sports. So on Saturday, right now, we've got MLB, NBA, and MMA, depending on when you watch the video. If the video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a $500 lifetime pass. The second way to win, somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or some sort of key phrase. Be on the lookout for it, type it in, and have a second chance to win a free week. So we are going to roll the keyword, or we're going to roll for the 2 winners from yesterday's video. So in that video, we had the views and we had the keyword of birthday or some sort of form of birthday was the key phrase for that because it was my birthday on Thursday. So even if this first person has the keyword, we're still going to re-roll it for the keyword. So this is just for getting at least 50 likes. So that being said, we got to get the likes by the time the main slate locks. So congratulations, Heath Pope 5510. You are the winner. You did have the key phrase, but we are going to re-roll it for it. So you still have a chance to win, but you have won yourself a free week of FTA+. All you got to do is email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com. Let me know that you are the views winner of the 411 video or something in the subject line. If you have an account on the website, let me know that. If you do not have an account on the website, let me know what your username, email, and password that you would like, and we will get you set up for your free week. So congratulations, and we're going to re-roll it, and you do have a second shot to win another free week. That's as easy and simple and free as it possibly can get. And the winner of this is a new name, I believe, Chucksenhausen 9740. Congratulations. Congratulations, Chuck. You won for the free keyword of happy birthday. So please email. I don't think you have an account on the website, so please email me and let me know. You turn 38 on tax day. Speaking of that, I have not filed my taxes yet, so we need to do that, is what they say. So congratulations to both of you. Make sure you can win every single day, and we've already talked about it. If you win I've talked about it with other people, but if you win 3 total yearly passes, we're going to parlay that up into a lifetime pass. So make sure you come back every single day, type it in, make this a better DFS channel, and we will hopefully make you a better DFS player. So if you are one of those people that are just looking for certain plays and that is it, this is not the video for you. We break down so much more. We've had so many more winners that we do things a little bit differently. If you do need that little bit of more help, we do have FTA+, where we give you plays. We give you core plays, value plays, cheat sheet, everything under the MLB tab. You get simulations, batter splits, stolen bases, the cheat sheet with so many different plays on it. We've got that for FTA+, $10 a week, $30 for a month, $199 for a year. We do have 1 pass available still. You can get the yearly pass for $99, so $100 off. The first person that emails me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and a $500 lifetime pass. So that being said, if you are looking for just like X amount of plays, we have that for FTA+. This is not the video for you. We are going to break down every single game. We're going to look at everything, and we are bringing back a fan favorite. So after we go through every single game, we're going to go through every batter that has a 10 out of 10 matchup rating in here, which I have now added this to the matchup tool right here. We're going to do that, and then we're going to bring you guys Pitches Be Crazy. Now, we brought this back. We had this last year. What this is, these are the top 5 pitchers on the day that have the best matchups against teams that strike out the most. So we're going to put all of that out there. That's all going to be for you. The videos are usually like 45 minutes to an hour long. It's a ton of my time going through all of this, absolutely free for you guys. So if you guys want a tip, you want to give out some donations, Got Venmo, PayPal, and CashApp. Email me and you can send that to me. If you want to just help me out, clicking on the ads on this video, watching the entire video all the way through, maybe even in the background, that helps me out as well. That and signing up for FTA Plus, all of those help me out as well. So that being said, we have chapters in here so you can skip around for wherever you want to go from, and we are going to be off. So on DraftKings, at least, we have 3 early games: Turbo, Detroit, Minnesota, Philly, St. Louis, and San Francisco and New York. Now, in the Yankee Stadium, the weather will be a concern moving pretty much all weekend, I believe, unless something changes. So that being said, we always will have updates. So we'll give you out. We've done 10,000 simulations in the background. We'll go through all of those. We'll talk about those. About an hour or so before the slates lock, usually the main slate. Weekends are a little bit different. We do 20,000 simulations, so you guys can see the updates, and all of that is under the MLB tab. You can see the matchup tool, and you can see our simulations both on Fanduel and DraftKings. So without further ado, we are going to look at the early slate here, the Turbo slate. Detroit and Minnesota is the first game. So what we're going to do is we're going to use outlier.bet to look at how these guys did against the team the prior year. I've also pulled all of the splits and data through the first, 12 or 13 games that most teams have done. So there's not a ton of data yet this year. We usually got to wait about a month, but we will go through that as well. So the first game on the slate, kind of just looking at ballpark factors for Detroit at Minnesota. Just kind of wanted to see if there's wind, whatever it's doing. Right now, as of the making of the video, the wind is blowing from right to left. So it's not blowing out, it's not blowing in, it's just kind of neutral, which is kind of in the middle, depending on how you want to go with the bats in this one. So you got Jackson Jobe versus Chris Paddack. Splits-wise, Jobe's pitched 1 on the road, 1 on the away, or at home, and kind of he's been better at home. You know, it's the stats right there. Like, the splits aren't going to be big right now. Again, with only 2 starts being under his belt. So not really good start against Seattle. Kind of the same thing with Chicago. A good prospect come up, starting the season in the starting rotation. Comes with a 5 ERA and only 7 total strikeouts. Minnesota can hit. Looking at this, now I'll let you know right now, we're going to go through every game. I'm not going to be right on every single game. I don't trust Jackson Jobe right now. He's got, Chris Paddack, though, is not any better. And we'll talk about that, too. You can see he's got minus 5.5. He comes in with a 14.73 ERA. Houston gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned. He got absolutely shelled against the White Sox in what nobody saw coming because the White Sox are bad. Gave up 9 earned runs in that game, and that's really what screwed him to start the season. Now, he comes in against a Detroit team that Detroit's hitting very well. So if we look at that, I don't trust that. Pitching in this one, I'm probably off of the pitching in this one. But Detroit bats have not seen Chris Paddack much. You've seen 3 total at-bats. 9 total at-bats. Torkelson with 2. Baez with 4 with 1 home run, but I wouldn't trust him. And then Thomas Nido, 3 at-bats, nothing going on there. Last year. So we're still waiting on news here. So if we look at splits from just this year, which I have on this screen, against right-handed pitching, Detroit bats, it only has 3 batters that have had at least 30 plate appearances. And that's and I can't get any lower than that, which is unfortunate. But looking at this, Chris Paddack, I feel like this is a game that might be highly owned. You might want to take batters in this one. I think I'd pretty much fade the pitching in this one. Ones I would look at for, let's just say, Detroit side right now, Zach McKinstry, batting 280 against right-handed pitching this year. I would look at Spencer Torkelson. I would look at Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green. I would look at all of those guys, depending on the lineup that comes out. Colt Keith is another one that I'd feel comfortable with. I don't really feel comfortable with Baez. I wouldn't look at him at all. I don't know if I'm fully like McKinstry, Torkelson, Carpenter, Green, and Colt Keith if I were to take 5, because on DraftKings, you can have 5 as a stack. Depending on the lineup that comes out, definitely pay attention there. I don't trust Baez enough. He could go 5 for 5 today with 5 home runs. I still won't have any exposure to him. I don't trust him. Dingler we could look at, but I just don't trust him enough either. Flip side of that, I mean, Jobe obviously has never faced Minnesota before. Against right-handed pitching, Minnesota, like Byron Buxton has 1 home run against right-handed pitching. Correa does not have any. He's batting 125 right now this year. Willie Castro batting 241. Ty France is actually batting 294 with 7 singles and 2 home runs. So he's in a great spot there. Matt Wallner's another one that I would definitely look at. Trevor Larnach is another one that I might look at as well in a stack here. It'll really just be like Willie Castro. I don't mind either. It'll just come down to which lineups come out, who's going to be starting here. With the wind being right to left, we'll see how the wind changes. We'll put it that way. But I do like the offenses more than I like the defenses or the pitching in this game. There's like, I don't know if I'll even play this early game, but if you are sports betting, whether or not you're taking like batters with over under 1.5 bases or hits or whatever you want to do, I'm probably avoiding the pitching in that. So that brings us to the second game. We've got the Phillies at the Cardinals. So we look at this game, looking at the wind is blowing from left to right and actually out to left, or from right to left, out to left field as of now. The problem is it's the weather, though it's kind of cold. It might not be inducive for a decent hitting game, but we're still going to cover everything. So in this game, we got Christopher Sanchez versus Miles Mikolas. So Sanchez, 2 starts at home. This is his first start on the road. He's given up 5 earned runs at home in 11 innings, 4.09 ERA. Does have 16 strikeouts though. 16 Ks, had 9 against the Dodgers, which nobody saw coming. 9 against the Dodgers, 7 against Colorado. Now he gets to go up against a St. Louis team that they actually can hit. Their pitching's what's might hold them back this year. Mikolas on here, 11.25 ERA, 2 games, minus 15.2. He gave up 11 hits and 8 earned runs in only 2.2 innings against Boston. That was in Boston. Then he did face the Angels, gave up 2 earned runs and only 3 strikeouts there. So very low in the strikeouts. I'm off of this. Like, to be honest with you, the pitching in this early slate, not ideal, especially if the Giants-Yankees game gets postponed. So I would look at bats. I don't know if I'm even playing this DFS, but like if you're sports betting, I'm okay with that. I would probably look at Philly bats against Mikolas, and they have had success. Castellanos has 2 home runs. You've got Sosa with a home run. You got Harper with a home run. You got Bohm with a home run. Kyle Schwarber with a home run. Kyle Schwarber, again, he's boomer bust. Hit a home run for us on Thursday. And as you can see, they do hit lefties better than righties. But if I were to take Philly bats here, I'm looking at Kyle Schwarber, lefty on lefty matchup. I don't care about that. He batted .218 with 26 bombs last year. He is very boomer bust. That's it. He's going to get you a home run or pretty much nothing. I would look at him. I would look at JT Realmuto if he's in there. I would look at Bryson Stott, Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas. I don't mind these guys. I would look at Philly as a stack here. If you aren't going DFS, I would look at, bets, over-unders. I would look at sports betting in this one. Probably the early slate, that's kind of how I'm feeling. St. Louis bats against Sanchez. No one's really had success against left-handed pitching, though, last year. They've done okay. If you were to take any of the players here, maybe Wilson Contreras, Lars Nootbaar, Victor Scott. I mean, they don't like jump out to me right now. Jordan Walker can hit a home run. We know that. I'm probably off of the early slate here. I'm probably just sports betting. I think I would rather focus on the Philly bats over St. Louis if I were to play this DFS slate. Then we've got the Yankees hosting the Giants. But there is weather concern. There's rain concern. So that is a big problem in this game, especially. And I feel like it's going to be the whole weekend we're going to see this. Do you have Jordan Hicks versus Will Warren? Warren's not looked the best in this year. Has not gone more than 5 innings. Gave up 4 earned runs against Pittsburgh, 5 strikeouts. 5 innings against Arizona, only 2 earned runs with 4 strikeouts, but he had 4 walks there. So he's not really had a clean start yet. Has 6 ERA, 9 Ks, 133 whip, only averaging 9.5. In this ballpark, that kind of scares me a little bit. But again, it'll all come down to the weather. Then you have Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks converting, obviously, from the bullpen last year. Got a 2.38 ERA coming into this game, 11 Ks on the year. Had 5 Ks against Seattle, 6 Ks against Houston. The Yankees strike out the 4th most out of any team this year. So I can see Jordan Hicks having 6+ strikeouts in this one. But again, this Yankees offense, if they come alive, especially at home with the torpedo bats, whatever you want to say, they could hit him as well. But we can look at this. So Jordan Hicks being a converting from a starter, did face the Yankees once last year. 0-1 record, 6.75 ERA. So he did not do well against them in their one start. Against him last year, Judge had 2 home runs in that game. Judge is hitting very well right now. Goldschmidt does have a home run as well. Against right-handed pitching, they do hit kind of well. If I were, now I don't know if I will, but if I were to take the Yankees bats in this game against Jordan Hicks, obviously Judge is your anchor. You got Dominguez, who both sides of the bat, both right and left. You got Bellinger, I would look at. You got Jazz, I would look at. Goldie, I would look at. Those are your 5. But if you want to make different stacks, because I think a lot of people might be on Jordan Hicks if the weather is good. Oswaldo Cabrera, you could look at. Austin Wells, you could definitely look at. Trent Grisham would be a very cheap option if he gets the start in center field, which he has gotten the start quite a bit in center field. So it just depends on the lineup that comes out. But I do have Jordan Hicks as one of the top 5 pitchers on the slate due to pitches be crazy. And we're going to cover that in just a little bit. Giants bats against Will Warren. No one's seen him before. He hasn't done ideally in this ballpark. I would look at this. I would look at Jung-Ho Lee for sure. I would look at Mike Yastrzemski. I would look at Elliot Ramos. I would look at Willie Adames and probably Matt Chapman as well. I like Matt Chapman usually more against lefties, but in this ballpark against this pitcher, I'll take a flyer on him as well. So that is the very early slate, or the early slate, or whatever we're calling it on FanDuel and DraftKings. The turbo slate is broken down right there. So 3 games done. We've got. Let me pause it and get in order. So now we have the early slate. So that was turbo. I'm assuming on FanDuel, I haven't looked at it yet, but it probably says very early only. But we do have a 5-game early slate, at least here on DraftKings. It starts with the Mets at the Athletics. You never know. The Athletics, like I said, it was either yesterday's video or the video before, that their offense is kind of sneaky good, but it's their pitching that's going to be a little bit suspect this year. So you do have David Peterson going up against Mitch Spence. So Spence coming in, 8 ERA, really, against Colorado, he's been basically the bullpen. I don't know if this is going to be a bullpen game. I don't know if this has been confirmed. I don't know if he is going to start in this one. That takes me out of using him as a starter. I don't think I would take him against this Mets offense anyway. I would rather stack the Mets in that one. And then David Peterson comes in, 2.53 ERA. He's looked pretty damn good, 12 Ks. Toronto had 3 Ks, but he had 5 walks. Shaky in that game. But at Miami, he 26.7 had a fantastic start to start the season. So tournament-wise, I'm okay with, but offense-wise, both of these offenses I think are pretty good in this game. So Athletics against David Peterson, no one's really had success. Against left-handed pitching, Miguel Andujar batted .411 last year, only 56 at-bats, so, not a huge sample size. Lawrence Butler batted .291 with 5 home runs. Brent Rooker had 10 home runs. I would use those guys. So I would use Rooker, Butler, and Duhar would be a very cheap option. If he is in there, Soderstrom, I don't know. He's been questionable the past few days. And Langoliers is another one that I would look at. And it's the fact that this ballpark is a AAA ballpark. We don't have much stats on it, so we can't it's not O Coliseum where it's a massive pitcher's park. If we were to go to the Mets bats against, if it is in fact, so it's not 100% confirmed that it is Mitch Spence because he is a bullpen guy. So this is kind of pay attention. So we take those with a grain of salt in this one. But I would look at Juan Soto. A Met stack is very expensive. No matter how you slice it, it's going to be very expensive. But I would look at some sort of Soto, Lindor, Alonso. And then you could sprinkle in a little bit of Jesse Winker. You could sprinkle in Tyrone Taylor, Starling Marte, or Mark Vientos, maybe even Brandon Nimmo as well. So I'm off of the pitching in this one. I would look at the offenses. Let's make sure it's Mitch Spence. But even if it's not, I still think the Mets make sense as a stack. And if you want to get a little contrarian, the Athletics make sense as a stack as well. Next game, Toronto-Baltimore. There is the rain concern. It's the same system that's in New York. You got Bowden Francis versus Cade Povich. Bowden Francis was supposed to start on Friday, but it obviously got postponed. There was rain. Now they've put it into this game. And I kind of broke it down last time. Baltimore's a really good hitting team. Don't know which team is going to show up. Francis, though, if you look at this game, and we see, and I assume they're just going to bump him to this slate, which should be the normal thing. Bowden Francis against Baltimore. It's still showing Jose Barrio. Bowden Francis, 3.18 ERA, 1-1 record, 10 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts against the Mets, which is a good hitting team, 4 strikeouts against Washington, which surprisingly they've been a good hitting team this year as well. Their other Achilles heel, just like the other team we talked about, is it's going to be their starting pitching might be a little bit suspect. So we look at this. Bowden Francis for tournaments, I am okay with. But if I am looking at bats, I'm definitely looking at Colton Cowser. I would be looking at Adley Rutschman. If you want to get in a cheaper-ish option, Jackson Holliday makes sense as well. Cedric Mullins is also hitting home runs and stealing bases at a pretty good clip. I would look at them as a stack. Now, we look at Cade Povich. 5.7 against Kansas City, gave up 4 earned runs. Boston gave up 3 earned runs. That one is one that I don't know. I don't think I trust him enough. Baltimore, hopefully they give him run support. But as you can see, not a ton of, one start basically against Baltimore in his career. Vlad Guerrero batting 4 for 5, right? 4 for 5 with a home run. And then we look at Toronto bats against lefties. They actually hit righties better. So Povich for tournaments, maybe. But if you were to be like, who would you take for Toronto in this one? Vladdy would be number 1. Andres Jimenez would probably be number 2. George Springer would be number 3. Bo Bichette maybe number 4, but he's, iffy there. And then Santander would be the last one that I would look at in this one. So make sure it is Bowden Francis because he did get pushed from Friday, which I assume it will be. And it'll just push everyone back a game. But that's kind of where I'm looking at that. Povich for tournaments, maybe because he is under 8K, 7K. But outside of that, we got to monitor the weather. If there's any sort of delays, you're going to get screwed over by taking your starting pitching there. I would leave it to the bats in that. So looking at the next game, we got Boston at the White Sox. We've got Mr. Dick Fitz versus Martin Perez. So White Sox, they're one of those teams where they shouldn't be putting the runs up they have in some of the games, and they should be as bad as we think they are normally. So you got Mr. Fitz coming in, 4.50 ERA, 0-2 record, only 8 strikeouts. So the strikeouts are very low for him. 9.5 against Toronto, gave up 3 earned runs. So basically in 2 starts, he's given up 3 earned runs. And each of them had 4 walks against Toronto. That's kind of where he's at. So when we're looking at pricing, with at least, DFS-wise and value, my minimum, and I don't know if this is industry standard, but I'm looking at least 2 to 2.5 times value. So we're looking at that 7,300 times 2 or 7,300 times 2.5 is what I would look at. Now, he hasn't hit that yet, and now he does have a good matchup here. The problem is the strikeout thing, they're low. I don't trust that enough. If we look at how the White Sox have struck out this year, which you guys can't see because it's only on my screen right now, but if we look at team strikeouts and how they've fared, the White Sox this year, where are they at? They're ranked 12th. They're only striking about 8.25 times per game. So, that's still high. I don't think he's going to get the 8. So I don't think I'm going to look at him. Tournaments, yes, for sure. We'd always throw him in there, especially under 7,500. Martin Perez, on the other hand, he's got the top 5 matchup here. So Boston strikes out 5th most. He's actually had 2 really good starts. He had a no-hitter going deep into that game against Minnesota for his first start against Detroit, which is another good hitting team. Only 4 strikeouts, but only 1 earned run and had 16.7. Boston can hit, though. That's my problem. 0.73 ERA coming in is pretty good. He's got a great matchup. I think both of these pitchers are tournament only. I think Martin Perez has a little bit more of a higher ceiling that I would think about. But if we jump in and we look at the offenses here, and how they've done. That's the problem. That's where we're looking at. So Martin Perez last year did face him one time. Again, these are stats from last year, so things have changed. But he had 15 strikeouts in that game. He had a huge game against Boston. And now they do strike out the fifth most. I think he could be a sneaky option here. I think people are going to be off of him because of how good Boston's offense actually has been, which I'm okay with. So I would look at that and I'd be like, Martin Perez, I don't mind him for tournaments. But if you were to take, like, if success-wise, no one's really had success against him. Against left-handed pitching, this is last year. We don't have the stats for this year yet. Not a ton of success. You could look at that and be like, Martin Perez for tournaments, because I think his ownership probably is under 10%, which we have ownership on our cheat sheet. I don't mind him. I think he's sneaky here. I think people will be on Boston, but I think Martin Perez might be a little sneaky. White Sox against Mr. Fitz, no one's really seen him. Against right-handed pitching, didn't really do much last year. If I were to take anyone against him, probably Andrew Vaughn, Luis Robert, maybe Austin Slater. I don't know if he'll be even in that game. But that might be it. Like, no one jumps out to me. In this game, I think a sneaky pick could be Martin Perez here, especially at 7,100 on an early slate. And especially if the Toronto-Baltimore game gets postponed. Martin Perez at 7,100, I don't mind. Now, again, I'm not always right. I'll let you guys know that right now. He could also just as easily get shelled by this Boston team, but they do, we've talked about it, they strike out, and he's had success in the past against them. I think his ownership might be a little bit low. We will move on to Atlanta at Tampa Bay as the next game. Got Drew Rasmussen versus AJ Smith-Shawver, so they pushed Shawver back a couple of days. That we're kind of waiting because the way the game went on Thursday night, it's like a 4-hour rain delay. So Shawver comes in against Miami, 10.5, didn't really do much, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks. He's had 3 walks in back-to-back games against a 5.19 ERA. We do look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay strikes out the 5th least out of every team. So they don't strike out a ton. So outside of him getting strikeouts, he's not really doing anything for me. You need minimum 16 fantasy points. We're at 8K. Obviously, not enough. Don't see him getting that. Tampa Bay, and I'm not saying I love Tampa Bay, but just the other pitching, I don't love Shawver here. Drew Rasmussen comes in, a 0.9 ERA, back-to-back 5-inning starts. He does get the ball. Struck out 4 batters each game. Atlanta right now strikes out the 23rd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th most out of any team. And Atlanta striking out an average of 9.42. So if we could get Drew Rasmussen at 8,400 and we could get 7 strikeouts out of him, if he could limit the walks and the runs, I think that's pretty good. Offensively, I'm not really looking at the offensive bats here in this game. So yeah, I'm not really looking at the offense, and this is through 10,000 simulations. So after 20,000 simulations, we will see, and we'll update it. If we need anything, they'll be on our cheat sheet. They'll be in our stacks if we have anything like that. That's kind of where I'm at in that situation. There's other games that I'd rather focus on than this game right here. That brings us to the next game, or the final game on this early DraftKings slate, Washington at Miami. And like we've talked about, Washington's offense is good. Their pitching is the one that's a little suspect. Then you've got Sandy Alcantara. So they obviously have seen a ton of each other, or at least Alcantara's seen Washington being in the same division. So if we dig into this game a little bit and we find the bats, the pitching, whatever we need to find in this game, it's exactly what we're going to do right here. So Alcantara obviously never faced them before, did not pitch last year, had Tommy John surgery, or he didn't face them before last year, I should say. And then we look at Trevor Williams, 5 innings last year against Miami, 1.8 ERA, the strikeouts were very low. The thing is, though, Miami this year, strikeouts the 2nd most out of any team. They're currently striking out at 10 times per game. They're averaging, and again, it's a slow sample. Like, it's very low. We're 12 games in, 13 games into the season. It's a low sample size. We look at this game. Trevor Williams on the year, 1-0 record, 9 strikeouts, 5.40 ERA. 6 strikeouts against Arizona. Arizona is a really good hitting team. They're a better hitting team than Miami. Trevor Williams has had one good start, and then the start against Toronto, kind of iffy. So that's the problem. His whip is 1.7 as well. So I don't know if I would use Trevor Williams. I wouldn't use him in cash. It would be tournaments if I use anything. Alcantara would be another one that I'd use in tournaments as well. But if you want to skip that and you want to look at different bats, like again, he did not pitch last year. He hasn't seen a ton of the Washington bats, but the ones he has seen, Josh Bell's a home run, but he's batting 200. Nate Lowe has a home run, but he's batting 167, so 1 for 6. I assume that's 1 for 6 with a home run. You've got James Wood, CJ Abrams that I would use on top of that, if I feel comfortable with that. But I kind of feel like this could be a lower scoring game with just the pitching. And if we go Miami bats against Trevor Williams, again, they really haven't seen him. Against right-handed pitching, they do well. Last year they did well. Bride had 3.02 batting average with 10 home runs. Otto Lopez had 5. Kyle Stowers had 3. I'm probably off of this game. I'm off of Miami bats. I would look at Trevor Williams just because Miami strikes out the second most out of any team. And I would look at Washington as a stack here. So that's the early slate done. Now we've got the main slate. Main slate going on. So bringing to us a 6-game Saturday main slate. First game on the slate, Pittsburgh at Cincy. So we got, it looks like Andrew Abbott coming off. So here's the thing. He's coming off the IL, has not pitched this year, obviously. Probably not going deep into the game. We don't know. We don't have any, it does say he threw 92 pitches in his second rehab, so he should be able to do a full workload. You never know what's going to happen, especially if this ballpark scares me a little bit. So Andrew Abbott coming into this game has not pitched at the major league level, has not seen this team much. Last year had a 10-10 record, 372 earned runs per 9, 138 innings pitched. So a decent start there. The ERA, though, being 372 is good. The strikeouts were low for him. Gets to go up against a Pirates team that probably they hit pretty well against the Yankees. I'll tell you that. But he did not face this team last year. In this ballpark, being Great American Small Park, the ball flies out of there at a pretty good clip. Against Andrew Abbott, not a ton of success. I mean, Brian Hayes batting 400 with 2 home runs, really the only one who's had success against him. Against left-handed pitching, they actually do better against righties. But if I were to not go with Abbott because he hasn't pitched this year, I'm okay with that. But he's 7,100 as well. I think his ownership's probably less than 5% just because he has not pitched in the majors this year. Pitching at home in a very hitter-friendly ballpark. For tournaments, Andrew Abbott, I think I'm okay with. For cash, absolutely no way I would trust him, though. That's the problem. If you were to go with Pirates bats, I would look at McCutchen. I would look at Brian Reynolds. I would look at Sawinski, Brian Hayes if he's in there, and maybe IKF. Not 100% on that one as well. But Andrew Abbott for tournaments, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I like him because of his price. At least on DraftKings. I don't know what his price is on FanDuel, but at least on DraftKings, I'm okay with that. Andrew Heaney coming in. I don't trust Andrew Heaney because all he did, against the Yankees, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. Now the Yankees, again, they strike out the 4th most out of any team. And I stacked, and this is where I'll tell you, this is where I can say I'm not always right. I stacked against Andrew Heaney, and it bit us. He had a really good start there, and against Miami, 1 earned run, 2K, so very up and down. But we do look at this. It's the ballpark factors are a thing. You look at the team's not seen him much. Candelario has seen him, 2 home runs, and that is it. Against left-handed pitching, they also don't hit very well. This one, for tournaments, I think both of these pitchers could be tournament pitchers. Now, anything can happen in this ballpark. That's the problem. Both pitchers under 7,200. Andrew Heaney would be a very cheap option. But again, Cincinnati, you got Ellie De La Cruz as a switch hitter. You could look at him. Gets on base, steals bases. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This game is weird to me. I think both pitchers are on the block for tournaments. I don't think either of them are good enough for cash. Offense-wise, nothing sticks out to me right now. Now, maybe after 20,000 simulations it will, but as of right now, I might avoid this game batting-wise. So the next game, we're going to look at the Angels at Houston, and we've talked about this in previous videos, but the Angels are kind of like the other teams. I think their offense has kind of been sneaky good this year. Their pitching's what's going to kind of hinder them this year. You got Tyler Anderson versus Gusto. Anderson coming in 4.50 ERA, 13.7. I mean, he really hasn't done a ton, has not hit the minimum 2 times value that we need. Going into Houston, against Houston, I'm probably off of Anderson. Gusto here, Ryan Gusto, slated to start Saturday. MLB start this weekend. I mean, coming out of the bullpen, we don't know how much he's going to be in this game. I would be off of him. I'd be off of both pitching, and I would look at bats. So if I am looking at Angels bats, Mike Trout has been absolutely on fire. Keep him healthy. That's all I ask. Please, baseball gods, keep Mike Trout healthy enough so he can have a fantastic season. On top of that, I would look at, we did have Taylor Ward, who had 2 home runs the other day. I would look at him a little bit. Logan O'Hoppe has let me down more times than he has not this year, but last year he did hit 264 with 16 bombs against right-handed pitching in this ballpark. I think that's pretty good for him. A cheap option could be J.D. Davis if he gets the start. He just got called up 2 days ago. I think Thursday he got called up. I don't know if he'll be in there. Kyron Paris, take the hot hand while you can. Kyron Paris has been one of the best hitters this season, I think. Let's see. He's batting 393 with 5 bombs, 8 RBIs. A down game against Tampa Bay on the 10th, but 28, 18, 24, down game 23. Like, he's been sneaky, and he's still under 4K, which is wild. So a right-handed bat here against Gusto, I do not mind him whatsoever. But again, like I said, I don't trust the pitching in this one. I would look at Houston bats against him. So Altuve has a home run against him. Brendan Rodgers has a home run. Jordan, we love to take Jordan against lefties. Batted 368 against Tyler Anderson with 3 bombs so far. Myers has a home run against him. Against left-handed pitching, Jordan batted 362 against left-handed pitching. Jordan might be one of, if not my favorite bat on the entire day. I would look at Jordan. I would look at Jose Altuve. I would look at Christian Walker against lefties. Paredes, Pena, Rodgers. This just feels like one of those where we stack multiple different Houston stacks against Tyler Anderson in this one. So if you can't fit everyone that you want, on DraftKings, you can do 5. A 5-2 stack is usually what takes it down. So 5 of the Astros bats, maybe 2 of the Angels, and we go with that. It's just a full game stack. I could see that. But make different Astros stacks today. I don't trust the pitching at all in that one. I would rather go with the bats. I think Houston bats have the slight advantage, but I think the Angels bats could do just as well. So the next game, we've got Milwaukee at Arizona. We've got Corbin Burnes facing his former team with the whole, if you've not been around, so Corbin Burnes wanted to stay with Milwaukee. They took him to arbitration. They told him basically how bad he is, blah, 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 and they won arbitration against him, which is a weird whole concept if you don't know what arbitration is. But that was the year after, I think the year after he won a Cy Young for them. He does have the extra burn, that desire to absolutely dominate them. The problem is the ballpark is Coors Field Jr. So the ball loves to fly out of this ballpark. Comes in with a 5.79 ERA. So it is up there for Corbin Burnes. And it's because of the Yankees. So first game, 4.1 innings, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. So he had the strikeouts. But he gave up the 4 earned runs there, or the 4 runs. And then against Washington, he gave up another 4 earned runs. So it's a little bit, the pitch count should be fine. The game against Milwaukee. Now here, and if you've been with us before, you know that this is a pitcher that pitched for them for X amount of years. So in their department, their statistics or whatever you want to call it, They know what kind of pitcher he is. They know the pitches he likes. They know what he likes to throw in certain counts. I always have that in the back of my mind. Now, on paper, you might not think about that. So that might be a thing where you're not even thinking about that. But my mind works so much that is a thing in my mind. They know what he likes to throw. Can they attack that? Whether or not they can attack that or he can execute his pitches, that's a different thing. He is 10,000, which is wild to see him being a $10,000 pitcher, also near 6 ERA. But I'll have some exposure to him because, again, the whole factor of him facing his former team, whether or not that means he's going to go back at them or they're going to have his number, we don't know. On the flip side of that, you've got Chad Patrick, last pitch on Sunday. So we come through here. He's actually had 2 really good starts, one against Cincinnati, one against Kansas City. Kansas City's a good hitting team. The Yankees, he didn't do very well. He only pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 earned runs. So it is skewed. So it came out of the bullpen, and then he has started 2 games there. So he is looking at that. He's had 2 really good starts. I think at 6,900, a GPP, I don't mind him in tournaments. Let's put it that way. If we look at Corbin Burns against Brewers, so basically 1 start last year when he was with the Baltimore. No one's really had success outside of William Contreras, 1 for 2 with a home run against right-handed pitching last year. So if you were to think, hey, he's got a 5+ ERA, what Milwaukee bats would we look at? I would look at Churio. I would look at Terang, Christian Yelich, for sure. Those 3 are my top 3 that I would look at. Then it depends on if you want like a Joey Ortiz or Oliver Dunn, kind of 2 picks, or Sal Frelick, kind of to help a stack to, if you need 5, you need 4, you want to add them on there. I'm okay with it. Arizona bats against Patrick, obviously never faced him before, against right-handed pitching last year. Corbin Carroll would be one if I were to take Arizona bats. Corbin Carroll's definitely one that's going to be in all of my lineups. Josh Naylor would be another one that's in my lineup. I would look at Pavin Smith, batted .282 last year against right-handed pitching with 8 bombs. You got McCarthy. I don't know if he'll be in the starting lineup, but .286 last year in 300 at-bats, 8 bombs as well. These are ones that I would look at here. I have no exposure to Chad Patrick, 0. I have a little bit of exposure to Burns, but I think I'd have more exposure to the offenses. So Colorado at San Diego, it's not confirmed. I've been trying to refresh the page and seeing if it's been confirmed. It has not been confirmed who the actual pitcher is yet, but it's looking at Dollander, and then he's confirmed, but Kyle Hart is not confirmed. So Dollander coming in, 7.20 ERA, did get the win in that start. Gave up 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. So that was his debut. It was in Colorado, so take that with a grain of salt. Now it's in a pitcher's ballpark. San Diego's a pitcher's ballpark. So you're looking at him. I think people will be off him. He's 7,700, 7.20 ERA. It's up there. I'll have exposure to him only because it's in a pitcher's park. But then you flip side of that, San Diego last year, they hit very well against righties. So, and you would think everyone that's a right-handed batter on this team, you would think they would hit lefties better. They don't. So if you are going, for instance, let's say you're not going Dollander and you're going to go San Diego bats, Tatis, as long as he's out there and healthy, I'm good with him. Machado's another one. A cheap option would be Martin Maldonado. I don't know if he'll be in there, but he'd be a cheap catching option for you. Elias Diaz would be another one. Now, Elias Diaz facing his former team, again, whether or not you go with that whole revenge factor, however you want to put it, you could look at him. But I don't know if it's going to be Hart. That's the problem. So it's not confirmed yet. But the thing is, the Rockies strike out the most out of any team. So if it is Kyle Hart, the problem is the innings scare me. He gave up 5 earned runs against the Cubs in .2 innings. He last pitched on Sunday. So in theory, this would be his spot in the rotation. Whether or not they actually start him, that's the other question. So we can't confirm that yet. At the moment, I wouldn't take Colorado bats against him. After we do simulations, after it is confirmed, then we can decide if we're actually going to go with him or not. We got Chicago at the Dodgers, Sasaki versus Ben Brown. So Sasaki comes in. He has faced the Cubs in Tokyo to start the season. Only went 3 innings in that game. It's because he had 5 walks. So he had 3 strikeouts, 1 earned run, but he had 5 walks. So they pulled him because he had 56 pitches, and then we know the next start he cried and blah, blah, blah. And then a bad start against Detroit where he cried. Against Philly, he only went 4 innings. My problem with Sasaki, he has not gone more than 4 innings in 3 starts. He's got good stuff, but the way the Cubs bats have been hitting right now, their bullpen's their problem. Sasaki at 8,700 against a team that saw him less than a month ago, I'm probably off of him. Then you got Ben Brown. He comes in, he faced the Dodgers that same game, 2.2 innings out of the bullpen, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. So he had 5 strikeouts. Obviously, Freddie Freeman being out of the lineup is a big bat that could take him deep. But again, this Dodgers lineup, they are who we thought they were for the most part. We know who they are. We know that they can hit lefty, righty. That doesn't matter. He had a good start against Athletics, did not have a good start against San Diego. So you think about that, and pitching-wise, I might be off of the pitching. Batting-wise, obviously we know who the Dodgers are. It doesn't just wait for the lineup to come out. It's stacked from top to left, bottom to top. It does not matter, or top to bottom, however you want to say it. The thing I would look at is Chicago bats against Sasaki. So no one really had success against him. Birdie 1 for 1, and that is it. But if Sasaki, something gets in his mind, and then he, doesn't perform, maybe he's not made out to be a Major League Baseball player. Maybe he wants to be, maybe his mind is Japan. But we look at that. The bats that I would look at, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki, Ian Happ. Those are my top 3 that I would look at there. And then some sort of mixture of, again, I think Justin Turner against his former team makes a ton of sense. If you don't want to use him, you could use Carson Kelly. I don't know if he'll start here. It could be Miguel Amaya or whoever's starting at catcher. Another one, either Nico Horner or Dansby Swanson. So I think it's going to be underowned. A Cub stack makes sense to me. So I'm looking at that. I don't mind a Cub stack. Obviously, a Dodger stack, it's whatever. It's going to be that way every game this year. But Cub stack being against Sasaki, because he is so expensive, I'm actually surprised that he is that expensive. So if you look at Sasaki and how expensive he is, he's the 3rd highest priced guy, and he comes in with a 4+ ERA and only 9 strikeouts against a team that can hit. He'd probably be cheaper if it were in Chicago and not LA. But I think the Cubs could be a sneaky stack today. And then the final game that we're going to break down, we've got Texas versus Seattle. We got Brian Wu versus Kumar Rocker. Rocker has not had a good start to his career. Brian Wu, 18.2 is what he's averaging on DraftKings. Now, Texas, they are not part of the top 5. Rocker coming in. And this is kind of, and it's very reminiscent of us last year when Jack Leiter got called up. Huge arm, big spot, kind of got rocked in most of his starts. Rocker here, living up to his name right now against Cincy. Now, I won't take it against him. Cincinnati Ballpark, Great American Small Park, we know this, gave up 6 earned runs. Not a good start. Then against Tampa Bay, only gave up 1 earned run, but only had 1 strikeout. So the strikeouts, it's very weird because, Seattle does strike out. Let's see. Seattle as a team. Last year, they were the team that struck out the most. This year, they've actually been 17th. So they're only striking out 8.92. Kumar Rocker at 8,000, I think is too much to pay for, at least on DraftKings. Seattle overall, I think might hit him hard. Now, again, he could have a good start. So I'm okay with that. Rocker, tournament only. That is it. There's no way I'm trusting him in cash at all. You got Brian Wu coming in. So we look at this. He had a really good start against the Athletics, and then a start that I thought he would have been better at in San Francisco because that is a pitcher's ballpark. Went 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks, 13.9. That's kind of what we looked at there. So 1 good start, 1 okay start, but he's 9,200. So if we look at Texas bats, they are striking out only 7.38 times per game. At 9,200, that scares me a little bit. So if we were to look at just the bats here, and let's say you want to go against the bats, or you want to go against the pitching, you want to look at bats. Seattle bats against Rocker, obviously not much. Came up last year and probably September call-up. Didn't really see him. Against right-handed pitching, like they are better against lefties. But if I were to use any, it'd be Cal Raleigh, big dumper. I would look at him. I would look at Rowdy Tellez would be a tournament option. He's very boomer bust. Luke Raley with 20 bombs last year against right-handed pitching. I would look at, you could look at J-Rod, 14 bombs, 275 batting average there. Flip side of that, Texas bats against Brian Wu. Seager has a home run, batting 750, 3 for 4 against him. You got Marcus Semien batting 5 for 9 with a home run. You got Adolis Garcia with a home run. You got Leota Taveras with a home run as well. Now, with Wyatt Langford being out for X amount of time and finding some value there, you might find some value. Against Brian Wu, Jock Peterson hasn't seen him. But against right-handed pitching last year, Jock Peterson, 22 home runs, 281 batting average. Jake Berger obviously wasn't on Texas last year, 20 bombs. Corey Seager, 24 bombs, 291 batting average against righties. These are all great options. I like those three. If I were to use other ones, maybe Adolis Garcia and Leota Taveras would be a cheap option if you wanted to stack Texas bats there. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of all three slates. You got the very early, the early only, and the main slate for Saturday. Now, we are going to give you guys all of the batters through 10,000 simulations that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. These can and will change. And if you want to see all of them, all the way from the top one, 10 out of 10, all the way to the bottom one that has minus 10, all of them there, they will be under the MLB tab, under the matchup tool. Part of FTA Plus, $10 for the week, $30 for a month. If you email me today, FTA or dfshelp1@gmail.com, dfshelp1@gmail.com, you can get it for $99 instead of $199. The only thing we don't have on the website for you is an optimizer. It's $5,000 minimum to build, and then it's like $500 minimum for the bare necessity per month to import the stats to keep it up to date. That is the only problem that I have. If I had backers, if I knew how to get that running, I would get you guys an optimizer, but I don't have the money right now. Maybe if I hit it big, I can build that out for you. So if you want to check that out, check out FTA Plus. But we are going to give you all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. And there's quite a bit today. So get a paper and pen, and let's get to going. Now, I looking at it, I don't think it should be a surprise. Top two, right now, through 10,000 simulations. Number 1 is Shohei. Number 2 is Aaron Judge. Number 3 is Corbin Carroll. 4, we got Kyle Tucker. 5, Brandon Lau. 6, Mookie Betts. 7, Juan Soto. 8, Yordan, which I love Yordan. I think he's my number 1. 9, Yandy Diaz. 10, Jonathan Aranda. 11, Ian Happ. 12, Vladdy. 13, Seiya Suzuki. 14, J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Followed by Bobby Witt Jr., Rafi Devers, Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Jonathan India, Danny Jansen. The list it's getting up there. Andrew Vaughn, Nico Horner, Nick Castellanos, Corey Seager, and finally, the final batter that has a 10 out of 10 matchup rating, Wilmer Flores versus the Yankees and Will Warren. If that game gets played, there is weather concern there. So there you have it. Those are the 10 out of 10 matchup ratings that you can find on the website. Now we're going to do Pitches Be Crazy. But before we do Pitches Be Crazy, we are going to do the keyword. The keyword of the day is beer. Or tell me a beer I should try, or one of your favorite beers that's not like a Bud Light or Busch Light or Budweiser, or like a huge commercialized beer. So either beer or the brand of a certain beer that I should try. That'll be the key phrase for Saturday. So now we're going to do Pitches Be Crazy. So number 1, as of right now, is whoever the starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres is. So as of right now, it looks like it's Kyle Hart versus Colorado, because Colorado strikes out 10.67 times per game, and they're striking out 11.33 on the road. Number 2 is Trevor Williams at Miami. Miami striking out 10 times per game, 9.14 times at home. Number 3 is Chris Paddock versus Detroit, 9.92 times per game. Detroit is striking out 10.67 times on the road. Jordan Hicks at the Yankees. This one scares me a little bit because of the weather, but the Yankees are striking out 9.92 times per game and 9.67 times at home. And then number 5, one that is a sneaky one that I think I want to use in DFS too. Martin Perez versus Boston. Boston is striking out 9.71 times per game and 10.71 times on the road. So again, number 1, Kyle Hart or whomever San Diego pitcher is. Number 2 is Trevor Williams. Number 3 is Chris Paddock. 4 is Jordan Hicks. And number 5 is Martin Perez. So that's what we've got. We broke down the entire slate for Saturday. We broke down the pitchers, the batters. We gave you the top batters through 10,000 simulations. We also gave you the top 5 batters for pitches be crazy against teams that strike out the most. So if you like the video, it is a little bit longer. Hit that like button, watch the entirety of this video. Click on the ads. That helps out more than you know. If you want to tip or donate to us, email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. If you want to do it for my birthday, that was Thursday, that's fine too. Not expected, but very much appreciated. Some of you did, which has been awesome. On top of that, we've got NBA on the site. We won't have videos for NBA the rest of the year. Tomorrow is the last day before the playoffs start. Then we have the play-in tournament, then the playoffs will be there. MMA on Saturdays, PGA on Thursdays for the entire weekend. We got NASCAR on Sundays as well. We've got it all for you. So we're bringing home the bacon, as we say. Let's have a great Saturday with that. If you're betting, DFS, spending time with family, whatever you're doing, let's have a great day. If you want to check out everything, go check out our Discord down below. It's completely free. We give you value plays. We give you some core plays as well. Let's have fun. But most importantly, let's bring home that bacon. Peace.